Hello, everyone. The Hausas have a saying that 𝗴𝗿𝗍𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀, meaning that longer throat is the beginning of problem or beginning of wahala. If you don't have a longer throat or you're not in a place where you are in need of something from someone or some people, or you're, how do I put it now? You need something somewhere. You're able to keep your sanity, keep your integrity, keep your balance, keep your sense, and not just be like an attack dog all the time. I'm saying this in respect of, we also John Cardinal Nayeka, that recently, where the bishops, Catholic bishops, had gone to see the former governor of Lagos State, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course they told him the truth, and he and his people didn't like what they said to him, and they all just came out. They were saying all sorts. Daniel Boada came out and he said there was something that he said. He tweeted about 2 days ago that Cardinal Onayeko wasn't speaking for Christians, he was speaking for Catholics, the institutions rooting for Peter Obi. In fact, likely the institution where Peter Obi also said in 2022, take back your country. Therefore, Cardinal is more political than spiritual, and not all Catholic members are supporting Peter Obi. According to him, the president, for me, an illegitimate president, by the way, official but meaning Tinubu, was well within his right, he said, to disagree with their assertion as regards Nigeria's economy based purely on facts, statistics, and numbers put into context. Ironically, the same priests would rebuke their members if the members said we are suffering or we are poor. They would tell them to rather say we are doing great and or we are rich, even when they are suffering or poor. I don't think, okay, this particular thing that he meant, I don't think Catholic Church are among those who do that. I know there are a lot of other churches where that is more common, where it's almost as if they say you shouldn't say something negative. It used to throw me off. Somebody would come out, oh, are you not feeling fine? I said, oh no, I'm well, I'm strong. No, okay, you're strong. And then it took a while for us. Oh, what they mean was that they are sick, but they can't say. I mean, for me, it doesn't make sense. But hey, to everyone, his own. And when people believe in faith, when anything that has to do with faith, you don't mock it. Everybody has the things that they do. I mean, faith is something that sometimes it's not logical, but that's what faith is. That's just your belief. So that has to be there. So I don't think Catholic Church is amongst those churches who do that. Then he said, ironically, the same priest would okay, there is a body comprising all Christians, including the Catholics and Catholic Bishops Conference, and that body's position is neutral and should be so. Otherwise, it is, otherwise it is political. So if it's neutral, why were they invited to come and eat rice, to come and laugh, joke with him? And if they had said he was doing well, because there are a lot of other religious rulers that have said Tinubu is doing well, I didn't see them melting down and saying that they were lying. They all lapped it up and felt good and whatever. So these ones have come to say that, hey, people are suffering. That's what the problem is. But anyway, I think there's a body here. The Northern Christian Group backs Catholic bishops and rebukes, Boala. So they have come out. It's just when you see certain things, you just thank God. If your expenses and it's not more than your integrity, you don't know what God has done for you. So the Northern Christian Association has backed the Catholic bishops of Nigeria over their recent meeting with Bola Tinubu, accusing his special advisor on media and public communication, Daniel Boala, of attempting to sow discord within the Christian community. And I would say exactly that's what it actually looks like when you're now beginning to say, okay, oh no, this is Catholic, there's another this, there's another that. They went in there, they spoke. When they were speaking, they didn't say they were speaking for whether on behalf of every Christian or not or whatever. They spoke what they needed to say, and that's it. So the statement continues and said the association said the Catholic bishops spoke not only on issues affecting the Catholic Church, but also on matters concerning Christians and Nigerians generally, insisting that their intervention was in the national interest. The NCA's position follows controversy sparked by comments attributed to 𝗴𝗏 after the Catholic bishops met with Tinubu and raised concerns over the country's social, economic, and security challenges. In a statement issued on Sunday, the chairman of the Northern Christian Association, Reverend Joseph Hayab, warned against what is described as divisive politics, saying the association would resist any attempt to pit one Christian denomination against another. And honestly, it's very important that this statement, comes out. By the way, this statement I'm picking that from Punch on their, which they put out on their X handle. They when it comes to this, is how you now begin to sow division. You now begin to sow people now pitching people against each other. Which one is denomination or not denomination? Hunger does not understand denomination. Hunger does not know denomination. Hunger is hunger. One of the things they don't understand with propaganda is that you cannot tell people you cannot do propaganda based on the suffering that people are going through. You can do propaganda on any other thing, but not suffering. Because people are seeing it, people are feeling it, people are feeling the effect. You can't come and tell someone that the person, oh, it's a lie, your suffering is not your suffering, when the person is actually going through so much. So that is one of the things that you have, especially with the 2027 election as we go on, is that people are already suffering. So you don't need to tell them about the suffering. There's a place where you are telling somebody this thing can be worse than this. The suffering is there, but it never hit body. This one don't hit marrow. You don't pass bone, don't enter marrow. So people already, get that on their own. He stressed that the NCA comprises members from virtually all Christian denominations in northern Nigeria, including the Catholic Church, Baptist, ECWA, Methodist, Anglican, and Pentecostal churches. We should tell 𝗴𝗏 to know that Catholics are Christians and Nigerians. Our members are Catholics, Baptists, ECWA, Methodist, Anglican, Pentecostal, and people of all denominations. We refuse to be divided by 𝗴𝗏's politics of division. The cleric said the Catholic bishop and Cardinal John Onayeka deserved respect, noting that they met Tinubu to discuss issues affecting humanity, Christians, and all Nigerians, not matters exclusive to the Catholic Church. I hope someone is there to actually explain all of this to Daniel 𝗴𝗏. Our cardinal is our respected elder, and the bishop that visited the president went to speak to him about humanity, illegitimate president, by the way. Christians and all rest are not only Christians. But at the end of the day, as it is, Daniel 𝗴𝗏 will be that Daniel 𝗴𝗏, and let's continue the conversation. But I'm really glad that John Cardinal Onayeka was out there speaking the truth as he has always done. I've known John Cardinal Onayeka since 2014. And this is someone who has always spoken truth to power. He doesn't care. He's not one of those hungry religious rulers who are looking for one favor or the other. He just says this how to say. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.